exercise physiologist Mark Goswell. And Mark, I coined a phrase that you are allowed to use this if you're having some clients come into the studio there and they suffer from this. Now, the phrase I use is liquid concrete. And for those who aren't familiar with liquid concrete, you're about to get very familiar with it when I explain it.
Please explain.
When you've been sitting or lounging around in the one spot, or maybe you're in the workplace sitting on the computer, you've spent that 90 minutes working away in that project.
Or the couple of hours.
Exactly. Now, you get up and then all of a sudden you can kind of move, but there's that stiff and that sore, and it's like you feel like your body's just got nothing but that liquid concrete.
I like it. Yeah, and honestly, that's what's happening these days. They actually say sitting is the new smoking. It's the thing that's killing us, because we are actually designed to move. We're designed to be active. We're designed to get up and run around, and we're not designed to be sitting on our butt all day, every day, doing nothing. And unfortunately, that's where we're heading. Fortunately for me, that is where everyone's heading, because they kind of find their way into our studio, because it creates injuries, it creates pain, it creates problems.
Yeah, the sitting down is supposed to be the rest, not the norm, and that's kind of where you want to take it as well. I mean, harking back to advertising campaigns of old, you think of the Norm, Life Begin It kind of character.
Yeah, Life Begin It, old Norm sitting there with his carton of beer and the remote control and piling on a ton of weight and not actually moving. And I suppose that was more about heart disease and things like that. But now we're looking at, I'm getting young people coming in with disc degeneration and arthritic knees, arthritic hips that are happening, in our early 30s and 40s, and not in our 60s and 70s with where we used to see it.
So why the change? Is it that we're generally speaking not as active as generations have gone by?
100%. We're actually seeing kids' movement patterns break down at the ages of 7 and 8, where
it's crazy.
It's madness. It's like it is absolute madness. Interesting story. I had a client the other day. I was talking to him about his back pain. I was talking about why he's getting it and the type of activities that he's leading. And I just said to him, dude, you got kids? And he's like, yeah, 5, 7, and 12. I'm going, cool. What I want you to do, just out of interest's sake, because I know I'll be right, I want you to go home, ask your 5-year-old and ask your 12-year-old to pick up something, a pillow, a cushion, a basketball. He actually picked up a soccer ball, and I said, 100% tell you, your 5-year-old will bend down and squat. Your 12-year-old will bend over the hips and pick it up. And it's because we literally forget how to move the way that we're designed. And when we're not moving the way that we're designed, stuff starts to break down, stuff starts to fall apart. If we don't use it, we lose it. And it really takes a very short period of time to start getting weak and tight, and the old liquid concrete, which I love. That's my thing today, liquid concrete.
I mean, there's no science behind that. I think that came from probably the Terminator 2 character. I think I kind of thought of him that way.
Love Terminator 2. I thought it was one of the better ones.
So if we are suffering with liquid concrete, are we going to actually retcon this into the textbooks? This is going to actually become a thing. But if we are suffering from that, we've been sitting down for too long, lounging around, and we get up and we feel that horrible thing
yuckiness, that liquid concrete kicking in.
Are there a couple of maybe a couple of stretches, a couple of things that can get us back on the right track?
Look, a really good thing, a big thing that happens when we're obviously sitting for extended periods of time is we get a lot of tightness in our thoracic spine. Now, that's kind of where our ribs attach, so the middle of our spine. We've got 3 major sections in the spine, but when that thoracic tightens up, it does increase the amount of torsional force or rotational force that occurs within the lumbar spine or lower back and up around the neck. So if we can learn to release that, then we can actually start to alleviate a lot of our symptoms. Now, I got you to actually try it before we started, and you've got that liquid concrete.
Oh, totally.
So a really easy thing to do is, if you think about if you're sitting in your chair, is literally to sit up as tall as you can and rotate. So if you think about taking your right hand, grabbing onto the back of your left hip, your left hand goes onto your right leg. Mm-hmm. It sounds like a game of Simon Says.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, and then just basically pull yourself around into a rotation. But think about a corkscrew. So when you're twisting, try to actually twist up out of the movement. And another really good one is to just place your elbows on the bench, or if you're sitting at the
kitchen
table,
maybe.
Kitchen table. Place your elbows on the kitchen table, really good example, and then literally just kind of take a couple of step backs and try to drop your hands through the gap that you create with your drop your hands, not your hands, drop your head. Drop your head through your elbows.
Your hands and elbows vertically are creating the gap.
They're creating a goalpost, and you're basically trying to stick your head through that goalpost. And so you're actually just taking your arms up over your head, and you'll feel a stretch or a release through the thoracic spine.
And once you do that a few times, you'll think, you know what, I probably need to get up and do this a little bit more often and not just sit in the one spot.
Yeah, look, the human body's about constant movement. We don't like static postures, so we don't like sitting for too long. We don't like standing for too long. You know, the way we're designed is to constantly change and constantly move. And so if we can do that every half an hour to an hour, you can alleviate so many problems.
All right, there's a way for us to get rid of some of that liquid concrete and maybe turn it into a nice fertile lawn and garden instead.
We're going to trademark that.
I might do that. All right, there he is, our exercise physiologist, Mark Goswell. And if you'd like him to cover something over the next couple of weeks, you can reach out via email. And that's a nice simple one for us. Ask Mark at 2NURFM.com.